Well, good morning. This is Jim Playsted from the electorate of Prosser, speaking to you at the moment from Fisherman's Dock here in Hobart. In this beautiful precinct, you can see behind me the traditional timber fishing craft that ply, in most cases here, the cray fishery. And of course, once this season closes, there'll be many more boats tied up here during the winter months. Elsewhere on my website, you'll find a video supplied recently by Craig Garland, standing up for the wild fishery in the northwest corner of Tasmania. Since the Oakhampton matter first arose and a very wide cross-section of community came together to talk about this issue, and the rapid knowledge gain of most of us that are now associated in some way, shape or form with gaining more knowledge about the industrial scale fish farming industry and how to make that a success in the long term, but at the moment certainly find our way into a better situation than the current set of very one-sided regulations and bias towards that industry. In the case of the wild fishers, the northwestern people have drawn attention, Craig and his band, to the fact that the native fishery is at serious risk from unbridled growth of this industrial scale fish farming game. We need to know a whole lot more than we do now about the impact of those practices on what is said to be already, in the case of the native fishery, including the wreckfish catch, about a $1 billion sector for the Tasmanian economy. I find it extraordinary that nobody's talking about that. Where are the peak bodies standing up for these families that have fished the coast and managed their resources successfully now for well over 100 years? So when you're thinking about where to put your vote for the electorate of Prosser, if you happen to live within that new boundary, please bear a thought for the native fishers. We now know, certainly at the bottom end of Bruny Island, the southern end of the Notricasco Channel, the very serious impact on native fish stocks affecting the cray fishery, the abalone fishery, and in the case of Craig and his colleagues in the northwest, of course, hugely affected by the tassel relocation of over 2,000 seals during the course of 2017 alone. And remembering Minister Rockliff's promise to cease that practice made before the last election, we need to make sure that the new Liberal Minister, Sarah Courtenay, and her department hold true to that commitment and stop relocation of seals. If the farming companies are good to their word, they will invest in predator nets and prevent the capture of these animals and make sure that that hateful practice is discontinued. So once again, Jim Playsted from Prosser, only about 9 days now to voting. If you want a champion for the coast inside the chamber, please give your vote 1 to Jim Playsted.